Coming up next.
A lot of it comes down to like nurturing the customers. I really want to please the customers. That's what I really get passionate about. And that's through food and the service and building the relationships with the customers. That's really what I'm passionate about. The food's just sort of a vehicle.
The Job Talk podcast shares stories from people who are passionate and love what they do in their careers. Through conversation, we explore their careers, past work experiences, and the education that got them to where they are now. We are putting together a Career Crisis Ultimate interview series. We are asking experts to give their best advice and guidance around work anxiety, career pressures, career goal setting, and ultimately, career transformation. To learn more about this special interview series and get notified when it's available, please visit our webpage at thejobtalk.com/help. This is the shortened version from our in-depth conversation. Please visit thejobtalk.com to find the full episode.
Today's guest is Theo Psalios. Here's our Job Talk with the Restaurateur. Let's say this media gig that I have right now doesn't work out. And I've often thought about teaming up with my incredibly talented sister-in-law and starting up a food truck. Yeah. And the idea would be to sell fancy gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work or not. What are we up against if we're going into the food truck business? How much do you have to invest into it? What are some of the legalities, insurance items? What are you looking at when you're creating a food truck?
It's not as great as you think it might be. Like it takes a lot of work, like a lot of physical hours to actually, make a buck. It's not as great as it once, like at the beginning days when the scene was new in the city. It was more novel. So, it was busier. There was, the idea and there weren't very many food trucks. So at the beginning it was a lot better. Also with the city, that is not nearly as wonderful as it once was at the beginning. It's really painful now to go through all the permits, just to communicate with them and to go through all those avenues that you need to for the food truck, all the licensing and permits. That's not a happy journey.
Yeah. I always love talking to people where you have a passion as being a chef, but you're also a business owner, and the day-to-day operations kind of takes you away from what you're passionate about. Are you passionate about the business operation side of things, or is it just kind of the reality you're in?
You know what? I am. Like when it's your little business project that you've been working on for so many years, I become passionate about it, where I constantly want to nurture it and constantly want to see it grow and constantly thinking about what I can do to, move the needle. Yeah. And it's not just the food. A lot of it comes down to like nurturing the customers. I really want to please the customers. That's what I really get passionate about. And that's through food and the service and building the relationships with the customers. That's really what I'm passionate about. The food's just sort of a vehicle.
I'm building a library of interviews with occupations from across the board, like a huge variety. What I like about, the culinary world, you're not really looking at having to go to school for 10 years, like if you were in the medical field and you were trying to specialize. But do you have any advice you could offer somebody who loves to cook? Maybe they don't do it as their day job, but they've always been curious about getting into the culinary world. Do you have any advice for somebody looking to enter that?
Well, if you're a young person, what I would do, so things when I look back and things I wish, it would have been fun to do it this way. I would have gone to take my degree, my culinary degree, and then I would have traveled with it and try to find jobs. They call them stage, which is you kind of work for free, but at really, really high-end restaurants around the world, and you find places to do that. And I think that would be just an amazing, amazing experience. And you may find one restaurant in one city that really speaks to you, and you may stay there and have a wonderful experience. I think that's would have been something to be cool to have done if I was when I was younger. So that's the kind of thing, like if you're, you know, a single, you're still trying to figure what you want to do with your career, that's the way to do it. If you already have an established career and you're thinking about moving into the culinary arts, I would say no.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, and that's a fair statement. And they should think about that.
I would keep, you know, try to find a career that's not making you miserable. And then I would take some culinary classes. There's so many classes that you can do sort of part-time, and you can learn a lot from them. And just, you know, you have to eat every day, so you're going to be able to have fun with your hobby often, right? That's what I would do if you're already established with the job.
Thank you for tuning in to the Job Talk podcast. For more information, please visit us at thejobtalk.com. Our podcast music was created by our friend Mike Malone in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.